guys. My name is Dr. Tusock, Dr. Sock for short. Today I'd like to present a research article titled Feeding Habits of the Blue Shark Priones glauca and the Salmon Shark Lomna ditropus in the transition region of the western North Pacific Ocean. This research study was conducted by Drs. Kubodera, Dr. Watanabe, and Dr. Ichi. The general purpose of the study was to determine the feeding habits of blue sharks and salmon sharks in the western northern Pacific Ocean during the spring months. The feeding habits include a variety of prey in shark stomachs and the frequency of occurrence in each prey species. Of each prey species. You may be asking, why is this research study significant? This research study is important because it provides an insight into the diet of two shark species during their youth in their respective nursery grounds. With this information and the data that we get from the study, it can help determine the effects of overfishing on food webs in certain fish populations or the effects of killing shark populations for the shark fin trade on the ecosystem. At this time, I'd like to call on my guest star, Dr. Voldemort Knoll, to present the research questions. Hello guys, my name is Dr. Voldemort. Today I would like to present the research questions proposed by our three scientists. Question 1. What prey do blue sharks consume during the spring months in the western northern Pacific Ocean? Question 2. What prey do salmon sharks consume during the spring months of the western northern Pacific Ocean? Question number 3. What time of the day do blue sharks tend to prey? And what time of the day do salmon sharks tend to prey? Question 5. Where in the water column do blue sharks consume most of their prey? And question number 6. Where in the water column do blue sharks consume most of their prey? I mean salmon sharks. I'm now going to turn it back over to Dr. Sock to present the empirical paradigm. Thank you, Dr. Knoll, for those amazing research questions. Now, in this study, only quantitative data was used. The quantitative data was used to determine exact values of data needed to answer the research questions previously defined. Some of the data recorded includes the number of sharks captured, the length of the sharks, the stomach content weight, number of prey species in each stomach, and the frequency of occurrence of each prey species in the stomachs. Now, how the research study was conducted is very interesting. Gill nets, which are floating nets that basically capture any species that swim into them. And they're called gill nets because most fish get entangled on their gills. There was two research periods when this study was conducted. One was May 4th through May 26th in 1999. And the second period of time was April 27th through May 27th in the year 2000. The nets that were used ranged in size, and they were placed in the water at dusk and removed at dawn. At dawn, once the nets were removed from the water, the sharks were removed and killed. The sharks were then measured for length and their stomachs were removed. The removed stomachs were tied shut and frozen for later analysis. In 1999, 20 net operations took place during the study period. During this time, 35 blue sharks and 6 salmon sharks were caught. In 2000, 40 net operations took place during the study period, and 35 blue sharks were caught once again, and 33 salmon sharks were caught this time. Out of the 70 total blue sharks caught, only 44 were measured for length, and only 42 had their stomach contents accurately masked. Out of the 39 salmon sharks caught during the entire research, only 26 were measured for length, and only 25 had their stomach contents accurately masked. The sharks that couldn't have their stomach contents accurately masked had complications during the transportation and processing period of the stomachs that damaged the contents. Once the stomachs were all brought back to the lab, they were allowed to thaw and the contents were removed. The contents were then sorted based on species of prey. The species were best identified based on external morphology. The number of species and the frequency of each species were recorded for data analysis. And now we get to the major findings. Blue sharks had a length range from 50 to 105 centimeters. This is accurate for young blue sharks. All of the blue sharks were adolescents. The recorded stomach content masses range from 0 to 1,705 grams. A relatively high variety of prey was found in their stomachs, the most abundant being a squid, Corythaeus callus. Based on the species found, it is believed that the blue sharks dive down deep during the days and eat inactive cephalopods. Cephalopods include squid, octopi, and others. Salmon sharks had a length range of 69 to 150 centimeters. Once again, this is accurate for adolescent sharks. The recorded stomach content masses range from 0 to 1,465 grams. There was a relatively low diversity of prey found. The most abundant prey was a squid, Gonotopus borealis. Based on the findings, it is believed that the salmon sharks are opportunistic feeders and have no distinct feeding patterns. There seems to be little overlap between the diets of the two sharks, even though they live in the same area. This signifies that the sharks have a sympatric relationship, meaning they inhabit the same area but fulfill different niches to avoid competition. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. George Hanbury to present the limitation. Hi guys, my name is Dr. George Hanbury, not to be confused with President George Hanbury II of Nova Southeastern University. Some limitations of this study include that the stomachs were not properly stored, tied, or dissected, and the contents were spilled or leaked. This prevented them from being accurately masked. Another limitation is that some of the stomach contents found were very small and could be from the stomachs of the prey. So they were excluded when organizing and cataloging the contents of the shark's stomachs. A third limitation is that the fish organs and bones are digested faster than those of cephalopods. This may have caused an underestimation of the importance of fish in the shark's diets. With the findings of this new study, we can do many things. This study has now taught us some of the feeding behaviors of salmon sharks and blue sharks, as well as the certain species of prey these two shark species consume. With this knowledge, we can conduct studies on how overfishing and killing of sharks for the shark fin trade affect the ecosystem of the North Pacific Ocean. This will be very helpful going forward when we have endangered populations of certain fish. This paves the way for other studies just like these. I would like to thank you guys now. This is where I leave you. I want to give a shout out to Tiernan Knoll for putting this all together, as well as a shout out to Dr. Baltimore Knoll for his brilliant presentations of the research questions, and a shout out to Dr. Hanbury, not to be confused with President George Hanbury II of Nova Southeast University, for his expert opinion on the limitations of this article. Have a good night. Please give me an A.